Good afternoon, anglers. This is Anglers 48 coming to you from Florida, Texas. Thank you for joining us today on this episode. So, what's in store? We're anxious. We want to do some fishing, and hopefully, we can head out to Port Mansfield, Texas on Saturday. So, once again, thank you for joining us. Um, I didn't go fishing this past weekend. So I got that little itch to go. We want to be able to go fishing a little bit early. Um, I'm looking at taking off at 2 in the morning, and I'm leaning more towards going on the kayak than going on. Well, let me just say it. Than going on my wife's car and just wade fishing. So since I didn't go last weekend, I wanna go ahead and take the take the car, take the truck, take the kayak out, and I wanna be able to cast several poles out and see if I can get into some reds. Very disappointed that I wasn't able to do that overnight, or I was, catching, big monsters. Spring is around the corner, and with that, cooler nights, right? So when you're talking about cooler nights, that doesn't work too well with my partner in crime, Tony. So he's my anchor. He's my right hand man, and if he can't do overnighters, it's kind of tough for me to do those overnighters. Hey, what's going on, Overland? All right, yeah, I want to get out there, man. It's kind of hard. Once again, I don't want to put it on my son's shoulders, but I'm focusing on my boy. Hey, Overland. Hopefully, when golf season comes in, I wanna get him in golf, my friend, and you're the one who inspired me. So yeah, and once he picks up the sport, I'm gonna be looking at your channels for some tips, for some advice. So I hope you're available, in case I need some advice from you. So I have him in football right now, and I'm all excited about that. And fishing, in a sense, takes a back seat to my son and his practices and games and stuff. So we're happy about that. Okay. The thing is, I appreciate that, Overland. It's crazy, right? It's crazy because um, we talk about going out there and stuff, and I always talk about Tony and this and Tony that. He's like my shadow, so to speak. He's the guy that, I mean, before I can even think about it, he's already, so we kind of, have that where we're on the same page, he and I, except for when the weather isn't so great. But it's a stretch as far as, because not many people like to do the kind of fishing I do. I'm willing to walk a good distance to get to that spot when I'm not on the kayak. When you're on the kayak, you get there basically about the same time, right? You get there about the same time. You're going about maybe 2 or 3 miles an hour. So chances are a person walking is going to get there at the same time I am. The only difference is when I get there on the kayak, I can, work several poles out on the water. But I'll keep that in mind. And I get several invites, and it's just one of those things where it's a little challenging to do the invite thing, simply because I'm one of those pick up and go, right? And I would hate to invite somebody and then, kind of be leaving them behind, or it's kind of like when I invite my dad. For my dad, I have to stay there, right? I don't want to go in there and do my thing, and the poor guy, he's doesn't have anybody to talk to. So, but I'll keep that in mind, my friend. Okay, I will. Hopefully Saturday. What's going on here, is the OnlyFins, is that the spot that I was fishing at. I don't know what happened to me, but the spot where I was fishing at these last few visits overnight, that wasn't really the spot. So I was actually fishing in a spot. I think I chose that spot because we could put up our tents, right? But the true fishing spot is 100 yards from that spot. And I was telling my friend Tony, these last few times that we've gone, we haven't done really well. And I was telling them, you know what? What's happening is we're not at that spot, at the original spot where I was, having all that success. So on this fishing trip, I'm gonna go to that spot and I'm gonna count the 100 yards and start casting out and see what happens, because that spot, I found it by accident. I wasn't catching anything. I just took the kayak out, cast it out, and I was just gonna be there for a little bit, take a little break, when all of a sudden the rods, they started going. I started catching, a lot of action. Went again, cast it out, and again I was catching reds. So there has to be something with that particular spot. But once again, I do hopefully want to take off about 2 in the morning. Now this is on the north side of Port Mansfield, right? This is on the north side of Port Mansfield. Anybody out there, Overland, if you guys are out there and you wanna, check out that spot, I'm not promising anything. But the thing is, it's not an overnighter, right? What I do is I take off from my home around 2 o'clock. I get there about, let's say 3:30, right? And there's a particular spot where I like to cast the net for live shrimp. Excuse me, for the morning hours, right? So if I don't catch any live shrimp, I'm gonna head to the north side where the fence is, load everything, and head out there. I kind of timed it. It's about a 25-minute ride on the kayak, right? And I'm in darkness, obviously, right? By then, it's probably maybe 3:30, getting close to 4 or so, maybe a little bit before 4. So I'm gonna have about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of darkness, if you will. So am I gonna catch something? I hope I catch something. But if I don't, I'll just be ready, for sunrise. And normally what I do is on Saturdays, it's a little iffy, right? Because you start getting all those diehard anglers, and some of them, as soon as it's starting to get the sunrise, I start seeing some anglers heading where I'm heading, right? So some of them, they know me, right? But the one thing I don't like is I'm neglecting the quarter of the fishing, right? Normally I like to start from where the town ends, right, and start fan casting. But for the sake of trying to get into these big fish, these big reds, I'm bypassing all of that, right? So, but nonetheless, let's see. Hey, thanks, Overland. You know what? I just recently started a podcast, and there's a lot of stuff that I like to talk about, but I'm not gonna, bore people with it with my regular videos, right? So that's something that I've always, have thought about, and recently YouTube was able to get that going, right? So maybe that's something you guys, can take interest in, and there are people that are craving for bits of information, and it's one of those things. I'm not I usually don't reveal where I'm fishing on my channel, but on my podcast I'm giving some of those secrets away. um, yeah, thank you, Overland. Ricardo, hey Ricardo, thank you, buddy. Once again, the invites, guys. If you see me out there and you wanna just kind of like, fish alongside me, that's good. But it's one of those things where the pick up and go. You know what I mean? I hate to leave somebody. Tony and I, once again, he'll take off. All right, we're fishing alongside each other, and he'll take off, and I'm cool with that. I'm fine, and he'll radio me. Hey, there's fish over here, or I'll radio him. But we're cool with that, and but once again, guys, if you guys are fishing and you want to head out where I'm gonna be at, hey, that's cool too. But it's a pretty good walk. When you go walking right to that spot, you got to take very minimal gear, right? Um, Sometimes when I don't take the truck, I go in my wife's car. I have to, go light with the gear, right? So I'll just take one pole, my net, things of that nature. But if I take my kayak, it's more. I'm more versatile. I have more stuff that I can utilize. Yes, I was talking to somebody, and they were commenting that podcasts are in. Podcasts are in right now, and there are so many platforms out there. I need to investigate which ones are good. I was thinking of Spotify, but no, Spotify plays others podcasts, but you can't do your own. We'll see how it works with the podcast. We'll see how it works. I'm not completely sure, how podcasting works. I know that there are platforms. Some of them, like YouTube, may be, I guess, free. Others, you may have to buy into to be able to have your own platform there. Your own, be your own host. But the a couple of other stuff, real quickly. The seats for my tracker are on order, so I'm glad for that. Well, I hope so. I really do. Um, I thought that day that fish took Tony's rod that night. I thought that was gonna be the day, and it could have been if he would have set the drag right, because for a fish to bend the rod holder and take the rod, I mean, you're not talking about a 30-inch red. No, you're looking at something massive. And what I was telling Tony is that he has the double loop leader. Okay, so I told him there's a possibility that either you caught something huge or you caught two big fish, and they both at the same time, and both of them took your pole. But I'm hoping that I haven't used the tag in quite a while. But the only bad thing about fishing overnight is you can't film anything. That's the downside. But I'm hoping that there, we produce something on Saturday. I want to be able to see if I can get the limit of trout, and my target is the flounder. The thing with flounder is I need to work my artificial a little. The retrieve, I think my retrieve is too quick, so I need to slow that retrieve down. We all have a retrieve that we like. We all have a retrieve that works for us. It may work for me with red and trout, but it's not working for me with flounder. So I'm gonna have to, if I want flounder, which I do. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is on that spot that I fish, as soon as I can see a little bit of the water, I get in there with my artificial, right? And I start casting, and I've caught keeper trout, but in darkness, so to speak, right? So there is a possibility that if things are good, I would have gone the limit of three. I don't know if I could stretch it that much where I'm gonna get the five trouts, but in a blink of an eye, like that, you can get the limit even before the sun completely rises. So I'm gonna make sure that my tandem rig is set, and yeah. What else? Some of my reels um, really took a hit on one of my last fishing trips. On my last overnight fishing trip, I was running heavy with the kayak, and as I was trying to get on the kayak, the crate fell in the water, so a couple of my reels got damaged. Salt water got to them, so that's a bummer right there. So I'm some reels short. Um, so hopefully that doesn't affect my fishing, because I'm always casting. So I go, I don't know, from 75 to 100 casts, maybe more, every fishing trip. So that's a lot of wear on those gears. And hopefully I don't have to resort to the baitcaster, because that's not a productive reel for anglers here. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Early morning fishing in the dark. Um, if once again, if you guys want to hook up or something, I'll be there on the north side. Um, After I get some bait, I should be there on the north side, setting up my kayak. Should take me about 30 minutes. Darkness, maybe a little bit more, as I'm taking my time, making sure everything is on there, and I'm heading out. But anybody that walks the shoreline will eventually get to that spot. But greatly appreciate you guys checking in. Ricardo, greatly appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, I try, and it's hard once again to get all this information out. Uh, a lot of viewers, they want to be able to just see the fish and not you, right? Or they want to hear the fish action and not so much narration. So that's okay, that's fine. That's why, once again, Ricardo, Overland, and only fish. I did that podcast that way. anything that I want to put out, I'll just have that separate from everything else. So if you guys once again see me out there, hey, say hello. Like you guys, may understand, a lot of the times I'm like this, right? We're all zoned in. I often see anglers out there, and I'm not always waving or saying hello to them because I'm so focused on any blow-ups, wakes. And now when I'm heading in, when I'm calling it a day, everybody that I see, but once again, if you see if you see an idiot toting the kayak around, that's me, guys. If you see somebody pushing not pushing but pulling the kayak, that's anglers. Sometimes I would display a flag on the kayak, right? An American flag. I don't have that flag right now. I think I left it there at Port Mansfield, but people would recognize me with the flag on the kayak. But I'll leave you with that, guys. And if you guys go fishing, hey, best of luck. And once again, greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. Tomorrow, once I get off for work, I'll start taking my time and loading everything up on the pickup truck. Hoping I don't leave anything behind. And that's part of the fun, getting everything ready. And yeah, I'm gonna do a live. Follow me on Facebook, guys. If you haven't already, I'm gonna do a live Facebook. Right now, for those, because I have a lot of Facebook followers that are not on YouTube. So I'm gonna do a Facebook live video right now. Once again, greatly appreciate it, guys. I couldn't do this without you guys. And hopefully, once again, I can come. Well, let's just say this. First of all, we don't want to get skunked, right? That's because it can happen. We'll go out there and it just isn't biting. That can be the thing. But hopefully I can upload a video and show you guys what we caught. Until next time, guys, from Fort Texas, Anglers 48 signing off. And please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't.